Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael St. Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael St. Nicholas.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael St. Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael St. Nicholas.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael St. Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael St. Nicholas.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using island cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, we tasted their food and everything, we definitely use them again because their service and food is just awesome.
After Guam, si Rod's Gimpap introducing the 2020 Toyota Tacoma Access Cap T-Max. Este na mês, gasto mo yung promo ng United Airlines, $1,000 United vouchers. After nananga, sabik sa sating mamanono si Tacoma, Guam, Tacoma territory. Sexy Rods, ginagi Atkins Pro Toyota, 671-788-2584. Alam bro, go si Rods, sinanagan sa 671-788-2584. After nananga, let's go places.
Buenas, Micronesia. I am ridiculous. My name is Troy Torres. Welcome to our studios here in Tumon, Guam. It is Tuesday, March 17, 2020. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am not wearing green anywhere, but as social distancing rules go, you should not pinch me
Right.
in a hurtful way.
And you're wearing green underwear.
Well, never mind. So there is breaking news from Civil Defense. There are 2 new cases that have tested positive for COVID-19. According to Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense and the Department of Public Health and Social Services, 20 people tested for COVID-19 today. 2 tested positive, 18 tested negative. There's been a total of 46 tests performed between March 12 and March 17, that's today. To date, a total of 5 cases tested positive and 41 cases tested negative. It is important to note that the spread of COVID-19 is a dynamic situation, says Civil Defense, and information may change as it develops. The 2 new positive cases, the test results were made available late this afternoon. The preliminary investigation indicates that one of the recently confirmed cases has a familial connection to 2 prior confirmed cases announced on March 15. Today's second unrelated case has recent travel history to the Philippines. All 5 confirmed cases are currently in isolation. So despite the rumors about, what may have happened to 1 or more of the patients, all 5 of the patients are currently in isolation. And then more information from Civil Defense, the same information they've been providing about social distancing, screening, and testing, the GovGuam continued response, doing your part to slow the spread of the coronavirus. This is a pretty important part to discuss with everybody and to repeat. They tell you to work from home whenever possible. If you work in a critical infrastructure industry as defined by Homeland Security, such as healthcare services and pharmaceutical and food supply, you have a special responsibility to maintain your normal work schedule, and your employer should follow U.S. CDC guidance to protect your health at work. Avoid social gatherings in groups of more than 50 people. Avoid eating or drinking at bars, restaurants, and food courts. Use drive-through, pickup, or delivery options. Avoid discretionary travel, shopping trips, and social visits. Do not visit nursing homes, retirement homes, or long-term care facilities. Practice good hygiene. Wash your hands, especially after touching any frequently used item or surface. Avoid touching your face. Sneeze or cough into a tissue or the inside of your elbow. And disinfect frequently used items and services as much as possible. These are simple things to do, you would think, common sense things to do, but well worth repeating over and over again so that more and more people get it. There's been discussion throughout the Marianas about, I'm not susceptible to it, I'm young, I'm healthy, why do I need to abide by these rules or take the governor's guidance on this? It's so you're not a douchebag, that's why. So that you don't spread this thing, because even if you do not succumb to the symptoms of the illness, you could very well pass it on to someone you love who would succumb to it. And nobody wants that to happen. Nobody wants to see anybody die from this thing. And we send our prayers and our love to the 5 people who are currently battling this. And we hope not only that they recover, but that they recover 100%. Let me see what your comments are before moving on. Esther Farron says, you have a great background, Troy. Just need to play the song, Who Let the Dogs Out? Good evening, Josepheda, Hafaday, Arnell, and Janelle, who say, let us continue to pray for our island to quickly recover from this. Well, as it seems, this thing is spreading. So we can stop or we can flatten the infectious curve, as the doctors and now the politicians are telling us about, this flattening of the infectious curve, by not being around each other, by not being at events. The president today lowered the threshold for a large gathering from, it was at 100 a few days ago, it went down to 50, and just today the president lowered it to 10. Now, Guam has not followed suit. The governor of Guam has not decided to follow suit and lower that threshold to 10. The other thing that we were able to come into contact with was a letter from the Department of Public Health to those who have traveled recently and come off of planes recently. Apparently, despite the governor's order for a quarantine of those individuals, the director of public health is asking, not ordering those people to self-quarantine. It's a voluntary self-quarantine and no longer an order, which depending on how you look at it, you can be upset with it or you can be satisfied with something like that. But, you know, they're working very hard at the Emergency Operations Center and at the Joint Information Center, and we need to wish all of our emergency responders and our decision makers well so that they make those right decisions. Now, there has been a whole lot of going on today in the news. I guess I didn't put it on the website. The Dodea schools now have closed. Let me bring this up. I'm so sorry. I didn't have this ready. According to a letter from the commander of Joint Region Marianas, Dodea, in coordination with Joint Region installation commanders and DoD public health officials, will close Dodea Guam schools to students starting tomorrow, March 18, until further notice. Dodea Pacific South District considered recently released CDC school closure recommendations along with the comments and concerns voiced by many Dodea Guam families. So they're listening to you guys. Your voices do matter. This decision was made out of an abundance of caution to mitigate the potential spread of COVID-19 and to preserve the health and welfare of students and employees. Dodea Pacific South District will coordinate closely with JRM, U.S. Naval Hospital Guam, and Government of Guam partners to reassess the COVID-19 situation in Guam and evaluate the possible resumption of classes following the scheduled Dodea Guam school recess, April 6 to April 10. Students will have access to online learning Monday, March 23 through Friday, April 3. Families will receive more information regarding online learning assignments and expectations from their child's school. Visit the Dodea Pacific South District website and Dodea Pacific Facebook page for up-to-date information. You know, I'm a little bothered by this lack of information on these two new patients. Now, they did say that one of them was related to two of the patients that had already tested positive, and then they said the other one has a recent travel history to the Philippines. What the government of Guam isn't telling us is what villages these people live in and where they've been, and what about this travel history of this latest patient? Like what date, what airline was this? So let's call Civil Defense and try to find out.
Your call is being answered by Audix, extension 02.
Did they just release a statement and go home?
Could be, yeah, it's possible. Do you have your microphone on, Chelo?
Today, good evening, Guam Homeland Security.
Hi, good evening. You know, we have some, this is Troy over at Kandit. We have some questions about the two new cases.
I'm sorry, sir? Can you repeat yourself?
Yeah, this is Troy at Kandit. We have questions about those two new cases, like what airline and what date did that...
Okay, Mr. Torres, I'm going to go ahead and transfer you to our PIO, and that's Jenna Blas.
Okay, thank you. It's not Corona.
Your call is being answered by Audix, extension 020.
I guess we're not going to get that answer now. I'm sorry, there's just so much information that we got out today. I'm trying to pick which one to tell you about. So now that there's no school, no public schools, well, no private schools either, but we have a situation on Guam, and this is the reality throughout the United States as well, and Congress recognized this when it passed the coronavirus funding package, or their HR 6204. I believe it became U.S. Public Law 113-123. Anyway, one of the things that it did was it allowed U.S. Department of Agriculture to extend school lunches and school breakfasts to communities or to families of those on the free or reduced lunch program in communities where public schools are not having classes. See, the situation is that for many kids on Guam, the only meal that they will receive on a weekday, on a school day, is the meal that they would get from their school breakfast and school lunch. And for all of public school children on this island, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has granted a waiver to Guam Public Schools where there is no cost for the lunch program and the breakfast program. So 100% of public school students, according to this new public law on Guam, will be able to avail of what DOE has designed as a grab-and-go food service. They don't have the locations ready yet. They hope to have this program out by the end of the week. John Fernandez and his team at the Department of Education are finalizing this program and are waiting for a waiver from the U.S. Department of Agriculture on the local guidelines and the local processes that they're setting up. But in the meantime, so it's Tuesday already. School kids weren't supposed to go to school yesterday. This would have been the first day that they were supposed to have gone to school, and they're not. And then there's tomorrow, and hopefully by tomorrow or Thursday, hopefully no later than Friday. This program is set up because there are a lot of kids on this island who may not be getting the nutrition that they need because they're not in school and they're not being able to avail of that free breakfast and that free lunch. Again, this is a problem that spans the states and the territories. It's not unique to Guam, but Guam does have this problem. And so they're working as fast as they can. What they're going to do is they're going to prepare the meals, and then they're going to box them up or bag them up or whatever, and they're going to have a drive-through service. It's going to be a grab-and-go sort of thing. There's some criticism about, does that mean people are going to be pooling around or gathering around in crowds of 50 or more, or in this, now according to the latest guidelines, 10 or more. And I think they're trying to make this like a drive-through service. There have been some suggestions from teachers to have this sort of service at bus stops because of the fact that many parents don't have transportation to go pick up these lunches. I'm sure the superintendent is hearing about all of these suggestions, and their planning is going as quickly as possible, and they'll have something new about that very soon. There also is news regarding, probation services. If you are supposed to be checking into probation, the judiciary is telling you don't check into probation. According to Christina Blas, who is the public information officer for the judiciary, please do not report to probation as all check-ins will be by phone at this time. Probation services can be reached at the following numbers. For adults, 475-3448. Again, 475-3448. Or 475-3457. Again, that's 475-3457. For juvenile probation, the number is 475-3453. Again, 475-3453. Or 475-3459. Again, 475-3459. I'm bouncing around here. This is so much news. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place here. If you have been worried about the shelves going blank in Saipan, don't worry. APL's ship arrived in Saipan today, and there was video of that ship offloading cargo. Do you want to? It's just a 21-second clip. I don't know if we want to play it from my screen. This is so much stuff. So I don't know. No sound. But there you can see the gantry planes at the port in Saipan lifting the containers off of the APL ship. So this ship is offloading in Saipan, and then it's heading to Guam to drop off containers as well. So if you were worried about not having food, or for some reason you still are worried about toilet paper, don't worry. These containers, according to Charlie Hermosa, the president of APL Guam, are filled with food, toilet paper, commodities, and all that stuff. So people of Saipan, don't worry. People of Guam, don't worry. And the people for the rest of Micronesia who are serviced by APL, don't you worry. The ship is in, the ship is coming. And I know that it has a sort of different connotation for people when they hear, the ship is in, the ship is in. Normally it's a gay call, you know? Like the sailors are here. It's not that kind of ship, peeps. My fellow peeps, my fellow manfloritas. There's a whole lot of work going on behind the scenes by our elected leaders. Congressman Mike Nicholas earlier today reported that Guam now has at least $479,000 in COVID-19 federal funds available, and this is for a whole bunch of things that the governor can use this money for. So this award was provided through the Coronavirus Preparedness and Response Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2020, which is Public Law 116-123, that same public law we talked about. In this first emergency response package, Congress directed immediate access to $475 million to support states, territories, and tribes to conduct public health activities. Let's see, $479,000 has been made available to Guam. It may be used for a variety of activities related to combating COVID-19, including, but not limited to, epidemiology, surveillance, laboratory testing, case identification, monitoring of travelers, data management, emergency operations and coordination, risk communication, surge staffing, infection control, and the purchase of equipment, supplies, and shipping. Standby. This is someone from the legislature. Hello? Hey, what's up? I'm live right now. But your voice is not on, so what's up? Yeah, no, I promise, I'm not driving you. Yeah. Okay, we'll discuss that after the show. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Well, if that's true, that's a big concern. These funds may be used to reimburse Guam for any costs associated with preparation and response to the virus outbreak incurred back to January 2020. This is a big deal. The congressman says, I appreciate Governor Leon Guerrero working expeditiously to ensure that our island received this first round of funding made available through our efforts in Congress, as I urged her to do within minutes of the passing of House Resolution 6074. Further, more funding will soon be available, including the $7 billion in loan subsidies to small businesses who have been financially impacted by the outbreak. Now, after that, news came from Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes about her pushing Governor Leon Guerrero to declare a state of economic injury disaster declaration, because there's two Tina Barnes stories that, and I just, no, that's the shopping centers one, stand by. I didn't even realize how much stuff we pushed out today. This is kind of incredible. Here it is. So you can go ahead and cast my screen if you want. So as we wait for the passage of the Pelosi and Trump $50 billion coronavirus economic stimulus, there are apparently loans available via the U.S. Small Business Administration that may be available to Guam businesses in times like these. It's just that the governor has to declare a state of economic injury disaster. Speaker Tina Munoz Barnes, in a letter to the governor, is asking her to declare this disaster so that Guam can qualify and avail for up to $2 million in SBA loans per company to deal with the economic exigency created by the COVID-19 onslaught. So the speaker says the SBA had instructed local officials to reach out to our governors to request an economic injury disaster declaration. And the only requirement is that the governor certify that at least 5 small businesses have been impacted by COVID-19 in their jurisdiction. I would say that far greater than 5 businesses have been impacted already by COVID-19. When I was on a run, when I was on a walk / occasional jog this morning, this is about 11:45 a.m. at the height of lunch hour on a Tuesday throughout Tumon. Tumon was a ghost town. There were probably like less than 30 tourists I saw walking the entire expanse of my walk. Tumon's dead. It's a ghost town. And so this request by the speaker, and understanding, of course, that the governor is very busy attending to the health and safety concerns of the community, and perhaps the economic considerations have not weighed or are just not taking as much time as the health and safety considerations are. But the speaker is asking her, this is money that's available to these small businesses to help them to stay afloat, to not fire their workers or lay them off or furlough their hours in the private sector. So can you make this disaster declaration so that SBA can start giving them loans? This is basically what the speaker is asking. The congressman is asking the governor to do something very similar, and that is to seek something called, regarding the impact of the coronavirus, the congressman is urging Miss Leon Guerrero, to seek out disaster unemployment assistance, or DUA, for Guam's impacted workforce. The congressman says, quote, "The Stafford Act that is triggered with a federal emergency declaration opens up access to federal funds for workers who are unemployed due to a disaster. With the Congress recently categorizing the coronavirus as an official disaster, our workers who are losing their jobs due to the economic impact the pandemic has had on Guam tourism can get federal relief. We must act swiftly to put these options into action so as to mitigate impacts across the board before they cause further harm due to bureaucratic delay." And then there was a whole letter. Go ahead and cast on my screen so people can see this letter from the congressman to Governor Leon Guerrero. Okay. Can we just take a little break, because my mouth is getting, I'm tired of talking. Like 3 minutes. We'll be right back, guys. Thanks. A lot more news.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using island cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, tasted their food and everything, we definitely used them again because their service and food is just awesome.
Hafiday, this is Congressman Michael Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael Nicholas.
I'll swim through the sea. I'll climb to the mountain tops. Won't you come follow me? I'll take time to notice all that I see. And after I've come so far, you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. But life is a vision, that's how it should be. The world is a canvas, and the choices are free. At the end of the journey, where all is complete, they'll all wonder where I've gone, but you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. Our dreams last forever, for all that we know. The roads come together, and that's where we'll go.
After Guam, si Rod's Grip have introduced the 2020 Toyota Tacoma Access Cap D-Max. Este na mês, gasto mo yung promo ng United Airlines, $1,000 United vouchers. Often ang nangga, sabik sa sating mamanono sa Tacoma, Guam, Tacoma territory. Sexy Rods, ginagi Atkinsboro Toyota, 671-788-2584. Talong Bright, go si Rods, sinanagan sa 671-788-2584. Often ang nangga, let's go places.
I just got a message from one of our viewers that her daughter is being told by the employer that it is irresponsible, that it is unprofessional for her to wear a mask while she's at work. It's irresponsible for that employer to tell that person this. First of all, thank you for providing jobs to people and for staying open in a time like this, but there are risks associated with staying open at a time like this and bringing your employees into work, and to keep them from protecting themselves or trying to protect themselves as best as they can is rather irresponsible, just like it's irresponsible for people to not be following what the governor is telling us to do and asking us to do. It really is irresponsible for people to be going to bars or restaurants or clubs or the gym, or it is irresponsible in a time like this. This is a time when community really is supposed to mean something. It's a time when we are supposed to understand that our actions very much have an effect on other people in a very real and biological way. This is no joke. This is not up for some political debate. This is real, people, and more people are getting sick. So, and then there's price gouging. Oh my Lord. Oh, by the way, can you remind me, Cello, if I forget, to provide new information on where people can report price gouging? There's been a whole lot of reports coming in. I have to implore everyone, please don't tell me where the price gougers are, you got to tell the Attorney General's office, because I'm not the Attorney General. There's nothing I can do about price gougers. We can embarrass them all we want, but it's the Attorney General. So this information actually has changed, Shalo. I need to create a new meme. It's an email address that the Attorney General's office wants people to use to report price gouging. Go ahead and put up that meme again, because they will still accept messages at that 475-3324 extension 3300. Leave a message and they'll check it, but they're saying now to email them.
The problem because that machine is inundated.
Oh, maybe, and it's not like they're there. It's not like they're there all the time to check the messages, right? They probably go at certain times of the day. I wouldn't want to push that button at the ITC building.
Right.
There's consulate offices there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Okay, well, we're actually not done with the letters and the outreach by members of Guam's elected leadership. Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes was very busy today on the economic front, trying to salvage what can be salvaged in the Guam economy. As we told you earlier, at least Tumon is a ghost town. The roads of Guam are so clear. It was 4:30, right? We went on that mission, Cello, at 4:30 with Carlos, and the road in East Gania,
Felt like a Sunday.
not even. It's even more packed on a Sunday than that.
Yeah.
It felt like a Sunday 15, 20 years ago. There's hardly anybody on the road, which means people are taking their responsibility pretty seriously. At least most people are. So the Speaker of the Guam Legislature is asking the general managers of the three largest shopping centers on this island, that's Micronesia Mall, Guam Premier or Premium, I could never get that right, outlets, Premier,
Yeah.
Guam Premier Outlets, and Agania Shopping Center, to allow their tenants flexibility in their opening and closing. Some tenants would like to not open for as long as those malls are open. And the thing is, when you're a tenant of a shopping center, you have to abide by their hours of operation, or you're penalized something like $75 per minute that you're closed earlier or later than their shopping center hours. And then there are some tenants merchants within these shopping centers who would like to open later so that it gives them more time to clean their stores, disinfect their stores. And these merchants have been approaching Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes for some help in convincing the general managers of these shopping centers to give them some sort of relief, to waive their penalties, and if there are rental fee problems, to come up with payment plans for them so that these stores can stay open and they can continue to pay their employees. So she sent a letter to them today. She's concerned that the quick economic downturn is furloughing too many private sector workers, especially in retail, and she's looking to stave off further layoffs, at least at these shopping centers, by lessening the financial burden on shopping center merchants. And this is the letter. Go ahead and cast to my screen so people can see this letter from the speaker that was sent out today. She signs all her letters. Sincerud and magahit. That's sincerely and with truth, right? That's what that means.
Yep.
Governor Felix Camacho used to sign his letters that. It was the late Tony Sanchez, who came up with that as the closing line. Sincerud and magahit. I was like, really, Tony? Do we have to write this and everything? He's like, yeah, it's tomorrow. It's good. Love that guy. Miss that guy. This is the one that I think most people were most interested in. And it was a letter from the congressman to Admiral Minoni, the commander of Joint Region Marianas, to restore equitable weekday access to bases for guardsmen, reservists, and veterans. And I'm just going to read you the entire release from Congressman Mike San Nicolas. In a letter to Joint Region Marianas Commander Admiral Minoni, Congressman San Nicolas pressed for reconsideration of recently announced access limitations to Anderson and Big Navy for non-active duty personnel. The congressman says, the Admiral and I have a great working relationship and I appreciate the intent of these base commanders. However, there is greater value in learned solidarity during these times with our local troops and veterans, and I am appealing to that. If we can come together during a domestic crisis, we surely will stand shoulder to shoulder in the face of a foreign one, and it is in these times that such goodwill can be fostered. In his letter, Congressman St. Nicholas highlighted the shared sacrifice during deployments of local guardsmen, reservists, and veterans, and further highlighted the need to showcase base stability and consistency rather than perceived exclusion and abandonment. I think that's what a lot of people were feeling in there. I saw those posts. He says, this is a chance for our military to showcase that they are here alongside the community when times are tough, and that speaks volumes when the time comes for us to have faith in the face of foreign military threats. I am confident a better plan that is more inclusive and less divisive will be developed in place of the current circumstances. The Admiral and base leadership are good people. So I think he's trying to sow any discord that may have come about from the decisions to suspend, close down, or curve off certain people from using the commissary and the exchange, most especially MWR Fleet Services, et cetera, throughout Big Navy and Anderson Air Force Base. Here we go, just touched my face. And I don't know, how do y'all feel about that? I generally agree with the congressman, but I also see where these base commanders are coming from in the protection of mission essential operations, mission essential personnel. But as the congressman says, there's probably some sort of middle ground where they can work around. Pardon me for not being completely prepared for this show. We got the breaking news, and I was like, Eric, let's go on now. I didn't even prepare. Oh, in case you missed the first part of this show, there's 2 new cases. Let me go to that real quick. We can repeat that. Test results are made available late Tuesday afternoon. That's today. The preliminary investigation indicates that one of the recently confirmed cases has a familial connection to 2 prior confirmed cases announced on March 15. Today's second unrelated case had a recent travel history to the Philippines. All 5 confirmed cases, that's the 2 from today and the 3 from Sunday, are currently in isolation. Let's try civil defense again. If we can't get through, or if we do get through, at the end of this phone call will be the end of the show. Is there anything that I missed? Oh, I'm sorry. Before we call civil defense, there is information from Guam Power Authority. In compliance with the governor's executive order ordering the closure of non-essential government of Guam services through March 30, GPA will ensure continuity of essential electrical power services during the mandated 2-week shutdown for all customers. GPA is committed to protect the safety of all GPA employees and the general public. All GPWA customer lobbies at Fadian, Hulali, and Upper Tumon remain temporarily closed for in-person transactions during the 14-day shutdown. Customer service representatives will be available by phone to respond to service inquiries. Nice. Limited live call center and pay-by-phone services will be available from 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. at 647-5787. Again, that number is 647-5787. Customers can email GPA at customersfirst@gpagwa.com or direct message GPA via Facebook Messenger. GPA monitors all customer communications and will continue to work with all customers on a case-by-case basis regarding their accounts. Inspections for new power service application inspections and installations are temporarily suspended until further notice. Customers can email GPA at customersfirst@gpagwa.com or direct message, that's in Facebook via Messenger, that they'll prioritize on a case-by-case basis. Power bill payments and disconnections. This is the one thing everybody wants to listen up to. GPA has temporarily suspended power service disconnections through March 31, 2020. Customers are reminded that while it is appropriate to avoid disconnections in the middle of a pandemic period, GPA encourages customers to be prudent and continue to make timely payments for power services and not neglect to pay their power bill such that payments become unmanageable in the future. This applies to both postpaid and prepaid customers, just so you know, okay? Just don't let everything bottle up. If you have the ability to make these payments, then make the payments so that they don't become unmanageable. Trust me, I'm the king of that.
Me too.
All online payment services are fully operational for all GPA customers. Customers are encouraged to make their power utility payments online at gpagwa.com. I'm sorry, pardon me, I gave you the wrong address. At paygpa.com, paygpa.com. Via GPA's interactive voice response or IVR line at 648-3000 and or 1-855-977-2002. Via the GPWA mobile app, which is available for free on both Apple and Android. Mail-in payments to P.O. Box 21868, Guam Main Facility, Guam 96921. Payment drop box. These are checks only at the Gloria B. Nelson Public Service Building in Fadian, at the GPWA Upper Tumon location that's behind GTA. Check payments can be dropped off anytime. Cash payments may be made at local banks as long as they're still open, depending on what the situation calls for in the next few hours or days. And it says Department of Administration ITC location, but are they open? We should probably check that out. I'm not sure if they're open. Okay, so here's one. For all power interruptions of service and power emergencies, customers should call GPA's 24/7 trouble dispatchers at 475-1472 or 1473 or 1474. Let's try calling Civil Defense now.
Your call is being answered by Audix, extension 02.
Oops.
Good evening, Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense. How can I help you, ma'am, sir?
Hi, this is Troy Torres. Who am I speaking with?
Sure, Torres. Can I hold, sir?
Uh-huh.
Day, thank you for calling Joint Information Center.
Hi, is this Nick?
Troy.
Hi. How's it
Day,
going,
brother.
buddy?
What's going on?
They got you working through the night?
No, we're wrapping up soon.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
What's
so
that,
I've got some questions about the second case today, the one that had recent travel history to the Philippines. Can we know some things about that, like when did that person come back from the Philippines and aboard what flight?
The only thing I can tell you is that the public health is still doing their contact tracing, so I'm not even sure if they've made that determination yet.
Okay. Is there any relationship that this person might have to a government of Guam agency?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So
we
that's
can't really say anything until we hear about any details that public health is going to make a determination on in their contact tracing.
okay. Where was this person tested at least?
Let me get back to you on that. I'm not sure if that was revealed to one of the other people
Okay.
in the JIC, but let me get back to you on that one.
And the status of the first three are that they are in isolation and still alive, right?
My understanding is that they're still under isolation. That's correct.
Is it under hospitalization isolation?
I'll have have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, and what about the first one that was confirmed today, the one that is somehow related to one of the first two cases? Where was that test? Same sort of questions. Where was that test taken? Is that person hospitalized, in isolation? And any other information that you can provide?
So the analysis on the COVID-19 testing, that's all done at the public health lab. As far as where the samples were taken from the patients, I don't have that information.
Is that information that you can get and give me a call back on it?
Yeah, is your cell number still the same?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You wait, let me just give it to you just in case you don't, it's wrong, because I know I've changed my cell phone number a lot. It's
Wait, hold on, let me see if
Thanks.
Troy. I'm gonna send you a test message.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick.
Okay.
You have
no
a good
problem.
day. Bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
So hopefully we'll get some information from Nick. That was Nick Rupley at the Joint Information Center. Or Nick Lee at the Joint Information Center. Anything else, Cello? No? For Kandit News, that's Eric Rosario. Hoi.
Good night.
I'm Troy Torres. Good night.